to address questions that I have. Joining me now, the author of that memo, RNC Chief Strategist and Communications Director, Sean Spicer. Hey, Sean, it seems like you have a mutiny on your hands by the Republican frontrunner.
It's a process that we've used for more than a decade. We've provided all of the campaigns and the public the rules that each of these states and territories would follow last October. And, there's a little bit of a catch-up sometimes that campaigns have to do if they're new to the process.
But he says it's rigged. I mean, the frontrunner wrote an op-ed for the Friday Wall Street Journal, typically a Republican oracle, and he said your process is rigged. That's not a good thing.
There's no question it's a complicated system, but it is completely fair and it's completely transparent. It's a process that we've used for for decades, going on a century. It's a process that elected Abraham Lincoln. It's a process that worked for Dwight Eisenhower and Ronald Reagan. But the thing that's really interesting, Michael, is that, look, Donald Trump's gotten 37% of the vote, and he's got 45% of the delegates. He's actually doing pretty well. He went into a state like Florida that has 99 delegates. He won them all, because he was the highest vote getter and the state was winner take all. So if you talk about fairness, a lot of these candidates don't complain about the states until they lose them.
What he sees is the party supplanting the will and the role of the electorate. In that regard, doesn't he make a legitimate point?
No, he doesn't. I mean, frankly, the Republican Party is more Democratic than the Democratic Party. The Democrats have super delegates. A fifth of their delegates are unelected party bosses. All of our delegates are, frankly, elected by Republican voters.
Shouldn't a candidate who arrives in Cleveland with the most wins, the most votes, the most delegates leave as your nominee?
Well, I think traditionally that's been the case. But again, that's like, shouldn't the person who gets 5 out of 6 numbers win Powerball? No. The answer is that the rule says you need a majority. You need 1,237 delegates to win our nomination. A majority wins, not a plurality. This isn't horseshoes, Michael. This is a game,
okay.
a nomination
but Sean,
for the president of our party. And yes.
It's just us talking here, right? If you come out of Cleveland, and you don't have this guy's constituency, you lose in the fall.
Well, first of all, we don't do anything. This is the will of the delegates. There's 2,400 plus delegates that are elected at the grassroots level. It's them. Talk about party bosses in the establishment. People have to understand that the people who are getting elected from coast to coast are people that were elected at the congressional level, the statewide level, to go and represent the people of their state, their congressional district, their county. Our job is purely as a facilitator to make sure that we have a process that's open and transparent. It's up to the delegates, and frankly, it's up to a majority of the delegates in every single vote to decide what we want as a platform, what rules we want as a committee, and yes, what nominee we want as a party. But those delegates and their will is what carries the day in every circumstance.
Okay, but to my point, you need the Trump constituency to win the White House.
Sure. We need the Cruz constituency. We need the Rubio, we need the Kasich. We need, the Paul. We need all of it. There's not a constituency. Look, we've lost the last 2 elections. In politics, you win by addition, not subtraction. We need all of that plus to win. So there's no question we need to be unified. I get it. But it's not. This isn't a game of horseshoes. If the delegates select an individual with a majority of their vote, then that's who that nominee will be. Plain and simple, no ifs, ands, or buts. It is up to them. It's not up to us. It's up to no one in Washington. It is up to the elected delegates from around this country that come together and make their voice heard.
Sean Spicer, thank you as always.